All right, let's jump right in. We're about to crack open a text that's literally thousands of years old, but you're going to be shocked at how relevant it is to our lives right now. We're looking at the book of Proverbs, not as some dusty old scroll, but as a real practical guide for living.
I mean, it's a totally fair question, right? In a world overflowing with life hacks and self-help gurus, what can a 3,000-year-old book really offer? Well, as you're about to see, the answer is a whole lot. It gives us this incredibly sharp framework for navigating everything from our careers to our relationships.
So, we're zeroing in on just one chapter, Proverbs 13. And the best way to think about it isn't as a boring list of rules. Now, think of it more like a blueprint for life. A blueprint that lays out a huge fundamental choice between two very different ways of living. Two paths that end up in completely different places. Okay, so let's start with the absolute basics. The whole chapter is really built on this one central contrast, this choice between two kinds of people.
And here they are. You've got the wise on one side and the foolish on the other. And the difference between them? It's actually way simpler than you might think. According to Proverbs, it all boils down to how you handle advice and correction. The wise person, they listen, they learn, they actually take instruction. But the foolish person, they mock it. They resist it. They hate being told they might be wrong. And this one thing, this attitude, becomes the great fork in the road for everything else that follows.
So where's the first place this big choice pops up in our day-to-day lives? Well, it's in something we do all the time, talking. The text says this choice between wisdom and foolishness shows up immediately in how we use our words.
And man, this verse just lays it all out on the table. It draws a direct line from being careful with what you say to, preserving your own life, and from just blurting things out to total self-destruction. The stakes are presented as incredibly high. We're talking life and ruin here. And here you can see the two outcomes side by side. On the one hand, if you guard your lips, you think before you speak, before you post, before you send that text, it leads to enjoying good things. It literally preserves your life. But on the other hand, speaking rashly, just letting words fly without a thought, well, according to this, that's a direct path to ruin. It even says the unfaithful have an appetite for violence, which suggests that reckless words can cause very real, very serious harm in the world.
All right, so from the things we say, the blueprint shifts to the things we do, specifically our work ethic and how it connects to our finances. And that sharp contrast between the wise and foolish paths, it continues right here.
So check this out. It's all about desire versus satisfaction. See, both people have appetites. They both want stuff. But the text claims only one of them actually gets that feeling of real, lasting satisfaction.
And the difference in how they operate is pretty striking. The diligent person, they're on a path of slow and steady progress. They gather little by little and their wealth grows. Their desires are fully satisfied. The sluggard, though, is always wanting more. And the text connects this to a totally different strategy, seeking dishonest money, looking for that quick fix that, in the end, just disappears. It's basically making this super powerful case for playing the long game with patience and integrity.
Now we zoom back out a bit, from the practical stuff to the mindset behind it all. The text digs into the internal attitude that really separates these two paths, and it all comes down to one key difference: wisdom versus pride.
This verse is like a cheat code for understanding people and situations. If you see a lot of conflict and fighting, the text says, look for pride. It's probably at the root of it. But if you're looking for wisdom, find the person who is humble enough to take advice. It all comes back to that core idea from the very beginning. Are you teachable?
And look at the consequences here. They couldn't be more different. It's not just about being right in an argument. The person who listens to correction ends up being honored. They're rewarded. But the one who ignores it, who scoffs at instruction, they're on a path straight to poverty and shame. The ability to just swallow your pride and learn is framed as an absolutely critical skill for a good life.
So, before we get to the big finale, the chapter gives us this incredibly beautiful, totally universal truth. It's just pure human psychology. I mean, we all know that feeling, right? That ache of a promise that's been broken, or a dream that seems so far away. But we also know that amazing feeling when a deep, true desire is finally met. It's called a tree of life, an image of just flourishing. This verse is like a bridge, reminding us what's really at stake in all the choices we're making.
And that brings us to the end of the line. After looking at our words, our work, and our pride, the text shows us the final destination for each of these two journeys. For the path of the righteous, the outcome is this incredible upward spiral. It all starts with good judgment, which wins you favor with others. That, in turn, leads to being rewarded with good things. And the ultimate result? It's not just about you. It's about building a legacy that lasts for generations, leaving an inheritance even for their children's children.
But for that other path, well, the conclusion is a lot different and a lot faster.
It's a total collapse, and it happens quickly. First comes trouble, and the text says it doesn't just visit, it pursues you like a constant shadow.
From there, it leads to shame, because ignoring discipline doesn't lead to freedom, it leads to poverty and humiliation.
And it all culminates in ruin, the very same destruction promised way back at the beginning to those who speak without thinking. And to wrap it all up, the chapter leaves us with this one last powerful image of light. For the righteous, their life is a light that shines brightly. It's a source of guidance and warmth. But for the wicked, their lamp is snuffed out. It's this final, stark image of darkness. The end. So at the end of the day, after walking through this 3,000-year-old blueprint, the question isn't just about understanding some ancient ideas. The text turns it right back on us. Every single day, with our words, with our work, with our willingness to learn, we are laying down stones on one of these two paths. The only question left is, which one are you building?